Irish eyes are smiling on Gallus tonight.
They're Scottish, Jerry.
What the fuck ever. Gentlemen, raise your beverages. It's an NXT party.
You can't flinch. You're going to catch it on the side. It's going to be even worse. My hand hurts after that. Oh.
Get him on.
All right.
Oh!
I'm gonna give that a 6.5. Come on. Hey, the last one. Okay. You really gotta count.
You want it in the middle or you want it on the boob?
Just hit middle. Go ahead.
All right.
Come on, get him.
Oh! York.
The old York.
Patties.
Is there an old York or is it just York?
It's just York.
There's a New Yorker.
Right, you have York in New York, not Old York in New York. Or do you have Old York?
Even Old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 82 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General, Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
Scoot over here a little bit. And we are also joined by Colin Andrew, the Cleaver. How's it going, Colin?
Oh man, I am rock hard with emotion right now. No,
I'm glad you had the emotion in there.
It's been a minute since I've been on, so I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, but for good reason. You're busy being a dad.
You're doing the whole dad and work thing.
Yeah, man. Meanwhile, NXT UK rolls on, not in any expected kind of way. Most of this show was exactly what you thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 of the 4 matches, you knew who was going to win before the match even started. We had an in-ring promo. You knew exactly how that was going to go. You knew all the keywords you were going to hear.
Yeah.
Everything up until the main event. I was a little bit curious. Maybe Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch might defeat Gallus somehow, some way.
Since it was non-titled, it was actually feasible.
Right. You know, put them in the running for the tag titles. Give them somebody new to face. Because let's face it, as deep as the tag division is in NXT UK, at this point, after a little over a year, everybody has faced everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Or it feels like it. So this would be okay. But the rest of the show, completely predictable. We start the night with the debuting F.A. Valkyrie.
Aoife.
Whatever the fuck it... The debuting Valkyrie. It's not going to be long before they get rid of that first name.
Yeah, it'll just be Valkyrie after a bit.
She is facing somebody that doesn't get an entrance, no music, no Tron, no name tag. The commentators called her a male,
she had jobbed already once here before, but she got an entrance that last time.
Yeah, I remember arguing that she shouldn't be in the match because she's a male, but I can't remember the match. Meanwhile, I can't remember this match other than the finish because it was pretty cool. But other than that, she just looked pretty good. Yeah. But I'm starting to get used to this out of NXT UK. They don't give you everything up front.
No, they don't.
She just shows you a little bit of basic wrestling and then does a couple of sweet moves, finishes the match, and then much like Ilya Dragunov, she'll roll out her moveset a little bit at a time. But still, man, it would have been nice to see a little bit of excitement out of her other than when she finally went up top and hit an axe kick, the back of the heel axe kick across a male's head, off the top rope.
That was sick looking.
Pinned her 1, 2, 3, easily off of that. But other than that, I mean, like, it was a match.
Yeah.
Colin, what do you think about it?
Well, I knew going into this match they weren't going to have a male beat a woman 2 nights in a row. So. And this is, Valkyrie's debut match. All right, so I might take some shit for this one, but I'm good for taking shit. So I thought this match was kind of sloppy. There was a lot of botch moves on Valkyrie's end, in my opinion. The little leg tap that was supposed to wipe her feet out from underneath her, she barely made contact with her. When she went to go all like Casey Catanzaro, whatever her name is from NXT, flip-wise, and went and fell back, and literally a male caught her and then took the back elbow. Like, you know, there was a couple things that it was kind of slow for me. The crowd wasn't into it at all.
They weren't.
They were not.
The crowd was Robin Williams, man. Just yeah.
Too soon.
Why Robin Williams? What the hell is wrong with you?
A lot. But no, a decent debut for Valkyrie. I'm not even going to attempt to say her first name because
Aoife.
I mean,
Aoife.
every time I'm going to think of soccer, because it sounds like FIFA. But no, I mean that X kick from the top rope at the end was pretty sick. I'm not going to lie, when it made Booker T proud. But we'll see what comes of her in the next coming weeks, I guess. But decent opening match.
Jerry.
Like Colin pointed out, there's a bunch of botches in this match, but pretty much it's one of these things where it's almost like looking at a kid's artwork. You know, you know what they're kind of going for. You're like, oh, I can see how, you know, and then later on maybe it'll actually gradually get better. So with her, I had to kind of take it with a grain of salt. I saw her moveset. Doesn't look effective, but once she gets like more comfortable, I guess, with the in-ring style that they do there and everything, and looks like she was trying to play it safe a lot, and it just ended up costing them a lot of, like, you know, cool-looking movesets and whatnot. But that axe kick, that pretty much sold it for me for the match. Otherwise, she did a whole bunch of Madonna voguing, and I'm not really sure what that was all about. The wings looked cool. The entrance was neat.
Thanks for stealing my joke, Jerry.
Well, you didn't use it.
I was kidding. I was just about to. I was gonna close it out with the voguing stuff, but it's okay. You can have it. You did it better
Yes, I did.
than I would have probably.
Probably.
So after this, we get an interview with Travis Banks, and he's talking about his performance at NXT. What was it? Worlds Collide.
Okay. Yeah.
But he doesn't get to say much because he's interrupted by Alexander Wolf, who says he really did nothing for the brand. All people are talking about is the dominance of Imperium. And as Jerry mentioned, he was out of that match fairly early.
I was about to say, you're out of match in like the first 4 minutes. What the fuck are you talking about?
But
Yeah.
he's not wrong. Wolf says Banks let down the brand, but Banks says Wolf has been riding Walter's coattails.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about what we got
It's
there.
the first time I've actually seen Travis Banks try to show a little bit of personality in an interview, or just like, you know, engaging with anybody. So it was actually pretty cool. Like, I'm still not sold on Banks. I probably never will be. But because if I haven't been by now, I won't.
He was talking smack, and I think Kelly Kapoor said it best. Talking trash is when you talk about somebody, you know, and there's stuff going on, but talking smack is where you're in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he was talking trash. I don't know. Damn it, Kelly, you're so frustrating. Meanwhile, Dave Mastiff versus Saxon Huxley happened, and I underlined Aoife Valkyrie before the match even started. I underlined Dave Mastiff before Saxon Huxley even made it to the ring.
Well, I actually watched the demeanor on this man's face. it's like he saw Mastiff come out. He's like, all right, I wonder who he's going to face. He's kind of grinning. And he saw Saxon Huxley. He's like, it just Van Dam.
I do this shit in ink, folks. I don't underline somebody's name that they won before the match even starts unless it's that fucking obvious. And 3 out of the 4 of these fucking matches. But anyway.
Do you think they're actually gonna, Colin? Do you think they're actually gonna do anything with Saxon Huxley, or just have him be like jobber for life at this point?
Dude, jobber Jesus, man. Jobber.
Jobber Jesus.
But I want to touch on one thing real quick for moving forward. The Travis Banks, Alexander Wolf thing. I really wish Travis Banks would have been like, what exactly did you do at Worlds Collide? You were gone within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, or something along those lines. Like, instead of doing the Walter coattails thing.
Short a kick to the back and a chop to the chest. What the hell did you do?
I think this screams that it was written before that happened.
That could be true, too.
They could very well say this, though, and I mean, they could be like, come on, man. Why wouldn't we mention it? But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the actual match here. Mastiff does have a pretty cool chop and a deadlift vertical. He does a couple of things that are like these nods to Walter. Those chops being a few of them, but that deadlift vertical was all fucking a show of strength.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Just from a sitting position, just...
And then he slapped him in the chest before he put him down.
And then a couple of moves and into the void and blah, blah, blah. Dave Mastiff wins. Fucking of course. Did you give Saxon Huxley any chance in hell, Colin?
No. No. Especially with the, the ring bomber Walter Mastiff in there tonight. Like, it's just... No, anytime I see Saxon Huxley, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to go get a cold drink real fast, and I'll be right back because this is just throwaway.
Basically, we've got an interview with Toni Storm backstage, and it's like one of those surprise interviews, like she's on her way somewhere, and they're like, we still haven't heard an answer from you for the challenge that Kaylee Ray set out, the I Quit match. And
it was like 30 seconds ago.
Toni Storm says, what a coincidence, because I'm heading somewhere right now. And of course she's heading to Johnny Saint's office.
The custodian's room.
And is it just me, or did she not have to knock?
Oh, they knew she was coming.
They're always just on their way out the door.
There was a storm of brewing outside.
And she tells them that she wants the match, and they're trying to remind her of the stipulation. She'll have nothing of it. They go back in the room, and I'm like, what, they need to discuss things like off-stage style? No, they come back with a contract that Kaylee Ray has already signed and give it to Toni Storm. Well, actually, she takes it. Because, again, they try to remind her that if she says, I quit, she doesn't get another chance at this title while Kaylee Ray's got it.
And she's like, blah, 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 sign.
Yeah. And then she signs it. And, I mean, I don't know where they're going with this. Either this is going towards Toni Storm losing and fully having to go heel, or this is just setting up for Toni Storm to get the big win where she didn't quit.
I see just the same, her losing and going to either NXT or getting called up to Raw or SmackDown. She's got the presence and everything to be on either one of those shows. Not the talent, but the presence at least.
There should be some storyline here. You should be building her for something with all of this. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do here. Either this is where, she picks up the championship and I never quit, I'm determined, blah, 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 blah. Or this is where she fucking snaps and just goes full heel, which honestly I think will pay off better for her in the end if she does. So that's where I'm leaning towards, is hopefully a Kaylee Ray retention and a batshit crazy Toni Storm.
Yeah, I think she could win over some of the crowd as a heel. As the underdog babyface with her back against the wall winning in the I Quit match, I don't think she wins over any of the crowd.
Mm-mm.
If she turns heel and does it right, she might intrigue me.
How would they have her scream I quit? Would it be like Mick Foley versus The Rock, where he just kind of played it over the intercom?
I hope she actually says it, and that's why it means so much, and it drives her insane, because she actually quit.
Mm-hmm.
She gave up. Speaking of giving up, the grizzled young veterans come to the ring to get on a microphone, and they say all of the same stuff. The only thing they added here was that they really like William Regal, because they got to experience going to NXT and wrestling in the Dusty Cup. And they think William Regal is a man that
appreciates talent.
Yeah. And then, again, now they're going to be soon to be the number one in the world and blah, blah, blah. Soon to be everything. But currently, the crowd was a little bit indifferent. I think a couple of people in the crowd at individual times tried to start chants.
Yeah.
And Zach Gibson would just stop and listen to one person chant at him. And I'm like, oh, God, that's not a good sign, man. That is not a good sign.
No.
Anyway, they say York is to the world what the Hunt is to the tag division. You just exist, and if you didn't exist, no one would notice. And okay, so this is kind of going to set up one match between them and the Hunt. Super.
Which is going to be weird because I'm thinking they're actually going to push the Hunt to actually win the match.
God, I hope not. Unless they are going to take the Grizzled Young Veterans and move them over to NXT for a little bit to deepen the tag division over there.
There is one moment that I thoroughly enjoyed in this promo, and that's when Gibson asked Drake, it's like, tell these folks what's great about York. And he puts the microphone over to him, he doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
So this was like a 4 or 5 minute promo. Colin, were there any keywords you got out of it that stood out from any other promo that they've ever done?
Well, I like the fact that, like you said, they brought up General Manager William Regal from NXT. And I like the fact that they said these tag teams, the Forgotten Sons, the Sexy Policemen, so he's like, and William Regal knows what they're about, and they will be soon recognized as the world's #1. William Regal can relate to a team like them because William Regal is from Blackpool, a town that gave you James Drake. And then he says he's from Liverpool, the town that gave you the Beatles. Like, so, he's trying to distinguish them as better people because they are from the same place, basically, as, like, the greatest fucking rock band ever. And
William Regal.
We come from the pools, so we're better than you.
This promo, if anyone knows the movie The Interview with Seth Rogen and James Franco, this is same, but different. So, same shit, different words.
Okay,
and,
cool.
The fact that they said the Hunt, we're going to get a one-off.
Okay, so for some reason we're backstage with Radzi, who is hawking live events so that you can come and buy a t-shirt like the one on his shoulder, although they do have a shop now where you can buy a t-shirt just like the one on his shoulder. But you can also get these programs, and he's going to show us a picture of Tyler Bate from the program, and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck are they doing? And there's Joseph Connors. He's like, where's my picture in that program, you son of a bitch? This guy that obviously prints these programs. You're the director that lays them out, and no.
He flips through it a couple times, then he just takes it out of Radzi's hands and just drops it.
Yeah, he is going to show us next week why he is takeover worthy and not Tyler Bate, who consequently he has got a match with next week.
I think that's going to be an awesome match.
I hope so.
I think Joseph Connors finally get to shine like he had been, I guess, in that tournament, the initial tournament. So.
Yeah, but he's going to lose and it's going to piss me off. But that's next week. Meanwhile, Amir Jordan comes out, and it's like, okay, who's he getting fed to? And then Joe Coffey comes out with Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, and they stay with him, accompany him to the ring, and I'm like, yeah, Amir Jordan doesn't stand a chance here. Third match. I underlined Joe Coffey before the match even starts. It was, and I wasn't wrong. Colin, what did you think about this match?
Well, we saw Coffey work over the shoulder. Was it the left shoulder? He had all K-tape on. Amir Jordan did. And he worked over that arm pretty well. I mean, good, decent amount of time in the match, and then switched to his other one for a bit. I mean, really, it was kind of the Joe Coffey show, which no one expected anything different. We saw a little bit of offense from Amir Jordan, and Gallus boys on top all the time. And the best for the bells at the end was a little bit sloppy, but I don't think Amir Jordan knew where the hell he was at the time. So It is what it is. I thought it was a decent match. I thought it was going to be I thought it was a little better than what I expected it to be, just because I saw Amir Jordan. So, wasn't the worst match I've seen from him, but normally I see him in tag team matches anymore, so it was weird seeing him in a singles match again.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jerry?
He just touched on the last point that I was going to make. Is the fact that we're not used to seeing Amir Jordan in these singles matches. So it's good to actually see him in a match on his own for the first time in ages against somebody of the caliber of Joe Coffey. Now, the clothesline at the end, the all raw vest for the bells. Yeah, like it was sloppy, and Amir Jordan tried to sell as much as he could because like he just threw about as much spit out as he could at that point, and it just still didn't look right. But the second he missed off the top rope, I knew he was going to get the Irish send off and
The Glasgow send
the
off.
Glasgow. I keep on saying Irish. Why do I want to keep on calling them Irish? I think it's all the green. They come out there and it's all green. Every last bit of it's green. It's almost March, and March is St. Patrick. I don't have to explain myself to you fucking people.
Are you saying all people from the Isle of the UK look the same and talk the same and sound the same? My thought,
not to be mean, but yeah.
my thoughts on this match were simple. Amir Jordan wasn't going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit perplexed during the match when Joe Coffey was spending so much time on Amir Jordan's right arm when obviously he should be working on the left arm, because he might be a super respectful bad guy, but he's still a fucking bad guy, and he's still a smart wrestler. Jesus Christ.
Well, if you can't use either one of the arms, that's just as well.
Well, see, here's the thing. Amir Jordan counters that arm lock into that leg scissors DDT, which was the coolest thing we saw out of him. The
leg scissors, that's about brain buster is what it was.
At some point, he does get the upper hand, but he goes up top and goes for that Swanton Bombay, but he catches knees to the back, and then I guess I wasn't paying attention to the All Raw Best for the Bells, because as soon as I saw the setup for the Glasgow send-off, I just started writing Glasgow send-off and then All Raw Best for the Bells for the pinfall. And by the time I look up, there's All Raw Best for the Bells, pinfall, and whatever. And I guess I didn't process that he botched it or anything. Looked fine to me.
It was just the connection of it just didn't look right.
Yeah, I think Joe was a little too far back when he threw it. So it was just weird.
Well, he gets on a microphone, which is the last thing you want to see out of Joe, because it's hard to understand.
Especially if he's already winded from the match, too.
Oh, my God.
I do know that he called out Ilya Dragunov, and he says he owes Joe a debt, and the payment's due. And meanwhile, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang have a match, because they are the main event against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And this was, at the very least, I didn't 100% expect Coffey and Wolfgang to win, but again, still kind of.
Yeah.
Still kind of. They are the tag champs. Like, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch can come in and beat the Hunt, but to come in and, like, beat the champs in their second match, nah. So, Colin, main event, what'd you think?
Decent match. I mean, it's all, like, I like the team of Lorcan and Burch. I've seen Danny Burch live. What's that?
It'd be a lot cooler if you didn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a fan, I guess. They're just scrappers, I guess. They're just, they just kind of remind me of some old school dudes for some reason at times. But Gallus is Gallus. Like, to me, besides him, like, I mean, Imperium's dope and everything, but Gallus is like the hottest thing in NXT UK for me personally at this moment. And the fucking theme song, dude. But I mean, Mark and Wolfie have come so far as a tag team together. It is unreal, and I love watching these two. Every time I watch them, they get better and better and better. And I was not going into this thinking, all right, the Broom Brawler, whatever they call it, I'm just going to call them the 1-2. I didn't think they were going to pick up the victory. This is their third match in NXT UK. Because I know, wasn't Oney Lorcan there for a minute, or no, wasn't Danny Burch there by himself for a little stint?
They both had like short single runs in NXT UK.
Yeah. So seeing them as a team there, I'm hoping they kind of stick around for a bit because NXT UK needs to deepen their tag team division. Because we have seen the merry-go-round of everybody so far. So, decent match. I liked the aftermatch. I really liked that. I'll let you guys get into that, but I mean, I'd watch this match again for sure.
Go ahead, Jerry. Get into that.
One's the piss, one's the shit.
I was gonna set you up.
But I like them. I like the fact
shite.
that they're such fucking hooligans, man. The headbutts and the physicality, like Lorcan's like European uppercuts are some of the like greatest things that they've ever seen in my life. 'Cause he's so quick with them.
Yeah, but Gallus had it scouted.
Oh yeah, they did.
He went for trading them in the corners between Gallus, and on the second one, I think it was Wolfgang caught him.
Yep.
Or no, Mark Coffey caught him, like for a German, but ducked down and held him in the corner while Wolfgang ran and did a cross body over the top rope.
Mm-hmm. That was just
That was cool.
But Gallus has really come a long way. They really have. Since the first episode, I mean, I think Wolfgang was one of the first like main eventers on the show, or close to it. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought it was a nice physical match. There was a couple times where I was like, oh my god, are they going to pull off the upset? And it just wasn't going to happen.
Well, they set up for that draping assisted DDT, but I think Wolfgang or Mark came in and broke it up, but he got a headbutt to the face.
Those headbutts.
But they never really got an opportunity after that to finish the match off. They just kept getting countered. Although they did counter a Wolfgang moonsault, and that's where they got the hot tag. But there was like one hot tag. And what was weird was it felt like the crowd was cheering more for Gallus than they were for the the Brit Brawlers were the heels here. And in fact, if you look at the setup of the ring, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch were on the heel corner.
Yeah. Well, Gallus has become like the greatest homegrown product out of NXT UK so thus far, I believe. Because like, granted they were like active on the indie circuit and everything, but they have been so prominent on NXT UK television, and Burch and Lorcan, they just like, gravitate out. You never see Gallus go over to NXT. You never see them go over to any other shows. They're always on NXT UK. That is their home base. That is their kingdom.
Well, for a brief second, I worried about Gallus not getting the win when their finisher that catapulted into a
Samoan drop
got countered. He wiggled out of it, and I'm like, well, now what are they going to do for the finisher? Well, no, they end up, let's see, Wolfgang spears one of them, Lorcan, through the ropes, and then comes back in enough time for that Enziguri power slam.
The percolator.
Where Mark Coffey kicks him in the back of the head as Wolfgang power slams him. 1, 2, 3. Gallus gets the victory. And that brings us to the... Oh, wait!
There's more!
There's aftermatch here, as Colin alluded to before. Ilya Dragunov comes to the ring. And he's ready for the confrontation. And he knows there's 3 dudes in the ring. But he still gets in the ring. And he puts up his dukes. And him and fucking Joe Coffey start to beat each other up. Until Joe Coffey lays him out. And then the rest of Gallus swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Joe Coffey really did the dirty work on his own, but now it's time to allow the rest of the pack to feast.
Flash, yeah.
And they do it one at a time. One at a time, they get on him and they start pounding, and they're like, all right, I'm done, you go.
My hand's tired.
And at the end, they're just standing tall, and Ilya Dragunov's on the mat like, what the fuck was I just thinking? But maybe he earned their respect.
What kind of confuses me about it is like that, Burch and Lorcan didn't turn back around and just run back in the ring.
Well, he came to take his beat down. Anyway, that's how the show goes off the air with the All Raw Best for the Bells from, from Joe Coffey, and then they set up for that finisher, that catapult. And they make it into a triple finisher. Joe Coffey penalty kicks Dragunov in the head, who gets catapulted onto, I think it's Mark Coffey's back for the Samoan drop. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, it was.
Pretty cool. That brings us to the end of the main event. And here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So, Colin, as our special guest, you get to go first. Out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this main event?
I'm just going to go with a 3.5. It was a good main event. The aftermatch was what really kind of made it. So actually, I'm going to go 3 3/4. 3 3/4.
Respectable. Jerry?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with the same thing. I'm going to go with 3.5 for the initial match itself. But granted, the show was predictable. A good majority of it was, but it entertained me at the same time. So I'm going to give it the extra quarter for just off of that. So 3 3/4.
I am going to agree at 3.5 and agree that it should get an extra quarter for that aftermatch. But damned if it doesn't lose a quarter for the rest of this fucking show, man. It's okay, I think, maybe to have a 50-50, toss-up here where half the matches are predictable, they're squash matches. The other half, it's like, okay, I can invest a little bit of who is going to win kind of thing.
This was a solid mid-card night because, I think the first night, last week was just...
In-ring promo was the grizzled young veterans, and that's the worst one to do in a show full of predictability. Because it is absolutely, you can sit there, and even James Drake mouths Zach Gibson's promo as he's giving the promo. And I'm not fucking lying to you. Go and watch.
We watch.
So, to me, the show is completely predictable. Loses a quarter. I'm right back at 3.5, but still 3.5.
It's still respectable.
And that brings us to the end of the main event and the end of the NXT party. Yay! Thank you for joining us, Colin. It's been too long.
It's been a while. I'm happy to be a part of it again.
If you'd like to join us on a future episode of the NXT party, you can leave a comment down below with your what? Why are you pointing at him?
That's Colin. If you want to be a part of Tea Party, you can be on this TV here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Leave a comment down below with your email address, or you can find me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. You can find Jerry on all of the above. You can find Colin. Where can we find you, Colin?
Oh, man, you can find me on Twitter at NoDQ Colin Andrew. You can follow me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. And you can find me on my YouTube channel, The Cleaver Colin Andrew, where I just broke 100 subscribers during this video.
Yes! Way to go, Colin.
Finally, my goal was 100 by the end of the year. I set that on January 1st. So,
well, you've been adding a lot more clips and stuff to it too, so that actually helps. So
yeah, it's been helping. Yeah, doing my little thing on Mondays and Wednesdays, but yeah, you can check me out there, and also you can find me on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and Anchor at the Cleaver Colin Andrew as well. So, thanks for having me, boys. It's been fun. It's fucking always.
Thank you for being on, and if you heard it from the guy himself, folks, like, it's fun as fuck, always.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to join us.
You only see half of what happens, because before and after the show, we're still fucking talking.
All you gotta do is watch NXT UK, and you've got like half a day to do it, and then we do it in the morning if you've got Skype. We can work around your schedule if you need to. But find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for, take a breath, restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at Gerald_JSJ. My Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR. Exclamation point. Oh, it's a green one.
Nice.
I like that. It's pretty. Find us there or Aftermatch Wrestling on Facebook. It's a group that we have. It's public, so you can join that. Or Aftermatch_Wrestling Instagram page, which the man on the TV screen runs and does an excellent job of.
Yes, thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
You can also find me on Instagram at Osborne.Stefan or Jerry at
the_gentleman_slaughter.
And you can find us on Patreon at Stefan R. Osborne if you'd like to help the channel. But really, if you have a little bit of time and you would like to actually help the channel out, if you like the video, click the like button. We'll give you a second. If you like all of the videos, you should become a subscriber. That requires hitting the subscribe button over there by Jerry.
Keep us in your heart forever.
Now we go live with our What's NXT shows now again. Finally, at least 2 weeks we have.
We had a whopping 1 person in the chat room this morning.
We plan to continue doing it. So if you'd like to catch us when we go live, click that bell icon and it will let you know when the show goes on in the morning on a Thursday, and or whenever we do it. You never know. Never know. Jerry might take the week off. Who knows?
We also just wrapped up a prediction video for this coming TakeOver Portland, so be sure to check that out as well.
Yes, and
Just and Noah Foster.
Yeah, the Simple Man Noah Foster's on there with us.
if you want to help the channel grow, click that share button. Share us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and
Bathroom stalls and
your grandma's bathroom.
tombstones. Don't do tombstones. Tombstones a little much.
Wherever you want to do it. If you see a McDonald's sign and there's enough letters up there just right, put on support aftermatch. Just whatever, you know. If you want to climb up there and risk it, sure.
Talking to you, Chet.
Anyway, I think that's all the time we have for the jokes and the pokes for the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. For the General Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you in NXT time.